want a little bonus Mortal Kombat review? Because I just finished that.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Okay. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I watched it last night.
Okay. So overall, uh, this Mortal Kombat slightly better than the original Mortal Kombat, and leagues, miles, light years ahead of Mortal Kombat
Annihilation.
Annihilation. Yeah. Um,
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed it. Obviously, having it rated R and all the fatalities and blood and guts that you expected was there, so it made me so much happier than the original, which was like a PG-13 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I definitely don't understand their idea of having the main character be a completely new character that's not a
Mm-hmm.
part of Mortal Kombat in Cole.
Yeah.
I thought he was a good character. I thought he overall was a good character. It
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't make sense to me that in a roster of roughly 90 to 100 people, they had
They
to make
introduced a
their
new
own
one.
new character in Mortal
Uh-huh.
Kombat. Um, I was surprised by some of the deaths.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Uh-huh.
like I couldn't like when Cole was fighting Goro. No, spoiler alert. Like it reminded me of the Hobbit when that one random good guy that came along on the boat was fighting Goro and like, all right, come on, buddy, and he just gets torn to shreds. Like that's what the fight reminded me of because it's like this no-name character who's like I don't even remember his name and isn't based off of any Mortal Kombat characters is
Mm-hmm.
fighting Goro like halfway through the original movie and he just gets ripped in half by Goro's forearms. Like I was like, that's what it reminded me of because this
Mm-hmm.
Cole guy's the guy. I have no idea who he is, and he's fighting Goro. I'm like, he's gotta die, but no, he kills Goro. I'm like,
Yeah.
Goro's not even fighting in Mortal Kombat. What? Like that's what's really interesting is this whole the whole movie is taking place like a month before Mortal Kombat. So
Mm-hmm.
like, it's not even the tournament yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thought like I didn't really expect anything much of it because it's a Mortal Kombat movie. And
Yeah,
so it basically did what I wanted it to do. There was amazing action, there was gruesome deaths, and obviously Scorpion Sub-Zero were the best part of it. Like I didn't really expect anything else from it. And then kind of going off Cole Young. I mean, I think his character was all right. His power is kind of weird. It's like he
yeah.
gets
I
he
still
get
didn't understand. It like absorbs energy, kind of
yeah,
like Black Panther's
yeah,
suit. Like,
that's what I thought it was going to be, and then like, ooh, he hits this punch or hits him with like this part of the body that has like the red glowing part, and then boom, explosion. But no, like he gets hit and then summons weapons that he just keeps. He doesn't get hit more and summon different bigger weapons. He just keeps the weapons,
uh,
and
yeah,
which was weird. Like, cause I watched I watched like a short little review about it, and they're like, why didn't they just do what they did in the original one and then just have Johnny Cage be our introduction into Mortal Kombat, kind of like Cole Young's like, oh, we're with Johnny Cage like as a moviegoer, we don't know what's going on, ooh, and then it's introduced to us with Johnny Cage, and then as bonus, Mortal Kombat people know who Johnny Cage is, and not just this random Cole Young dude who used to be a good MMA fighter, but now just gets beat up a lot and is like a human punching bag. They call him in the
yeah.
movie. Um, but I mean, yeah, like the scene where Jax's arms get taken off, brutal,
Yeah,
brutal. Um,
I think they missed an opportunity because I think that Mall guy, he's not a Mortal Kombat character. I don't remember him
I don't
from
remember
anything.
him either. No.
But they were fighting at the end. They were fighting on the spikes down below
Yeah.
where like he literally was doing the swayed stun. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm dead, and he says finish him. That's the stage you uppercut him so he flies
So
in
he
the air and
falls down.
falls on the spikes. Why didn't they do it on this one?
Oh my
That's
god.
probably my most hated thing. Like instead of clapping his head off, uppercut him so he falls on the spikes below because I know they're there. Don't tell me they're not.
Yeah, like kind of going like off that when they kind of did like the Mortal Kombat like actual fight scenes. That remind me of the Doom movie where it suddenly became first person. It's
First
like base
person.
it's basically the video game. Like
That's
like
another trash movie. That Doom movie. That's like
uh
one of The Rock's first movies.
yeah, and I
He's a bad guy.
yeah, I remember I remember liking it. But that's a really old and completely different story.
Yeah.
Um
Um.
but yeah,
But
I
yeah.
thought those like kind of like actual fight scenes were really cool. The like I said, the death's Kung Lao slicing someone in half. I was like, them using actual moves and like actual fatalities was probably like the best part, honestly.
Mhm. I will say the original Mortal Kombat movie did have a more iconic "Your soul is
Your
mine" scene.
soul is mine.
Like they had to obviously put it in this one when another surprise to me, Kun Lao was getting his soul stole by Shang Tsung. So
Mm-hmm.
that was like I didn't expect Kun Lao to die.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
either.
but I mean, I will forever quote Liu, your brother's soul is
My
mine.
soul is mine. Oh my god. But like when I was watching the movie, holy shit is the actor that played Liu Kang is ripped. Like he was flexing, I was
Oh,
like, oh my
when he's
god.
flexing
I was
in
like,
the
oh my
middle.
god, you can see every tendon in his shoulder and like every muscle striation. Like, dude, you are ripped as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, the best character was Kano, right?
Oh, easily. Oh, Kano was
He
he's
was so
so
funny.
funny. Oh my god. Just like every single quirky comment was just so good. Like and Liu Kang and Kung Lao like seemingly pissing him off on purpose to see if that was his like
Mhm.
uh I forgot what they called it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of forgettable of how they get their powers,
Yeah.
but
Like why couldn't you just make it so they already had their powers? But I mean, it is what it is. But like the story wise, the story is kind of meh, pretty trashy in my opinion. The fact that they literally haven't just done like the story, because watching it made me want to play Mortal Kombat 9. Like the like well, it was like the technically like the spiritual reboot of like
yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1 or whatever. The fact that they
Yep.
just don't go with that story in movies just blows my mind. Like, how don't you
Yeah.
just go with a story that, I mean, sure, it's probably not the best because it's literally about a video game about people fighting each other and dying, and then that's like the main premise of the show, and it's a tournament of killing people, which there's, I mean, sure, you can have some story to it, but like there can't be all too much depth. But like that,
Yeah.
like the video game story has so much more depth than this, and obviously you wouldn't be able to fit like the whole like whatever 10-hour campaign into it
Campaign.
or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised they just haven't like just tried to go for like the video game story concept at all.
That's tough though, because like they're making like for example they're making the Last of Us movie like so they're gonna try to fit uh roughly 20-hour amazing video game movie like style of dialogue and just an epic story, and they're gonna shrink that 20-hour gameplay down to 2 hours and make me care about Joel as
Yeah.
much as the game did. Don't think so.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
But
yeah.
I will say I was surprised that they made Scorpion a good guy and Sub Zero a bad guy, because usually in the Mortal Kombat those two kind of they always linger in the between. They're like
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily good, not necessarily evil, but everyone knows Scorpion is from the Nether Realm, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like hell. So he's obviously not great,
Yeah.
but and you and some of the stories of Mortal Kombat, Sub Zero helps the hero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was interesting. Like I didn't really care. I'm personally a Sub Zero fan, so when he lost, I was kind of like, but I understand why he lost.
Uh-huh.
Because he was a pretty bad guy. He was the big bad guy in the movie. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and kind of going off that, Reptile was like basically
just a
an
reptile.
alligator,
He
basically an
was a
alligator,
reptile.
which
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh, they didn't like make him like a ninja reptile. They made him like a reptile.
Hmm.
Which I know like they have like several like kind of different versions of reptile in video games. I'm pretty sure. But I just kind of like the ninja version better. Um,
Yeah, like in this Mortal Kombat universe, like it wasn't too out of the too not believable to have a ninja reptile. You just had to make him a reptile when Liu Kang is literally blowing fireballs out of nothing. Like,
yeah.
I think we could make a stretch that a reptile's a ninja as well. You know?
Yeah, no kidding. Um, but honestly, I think the best part of the movie is the initial sequence with Scorpion's or Hanzo's family getting killed by
Sub
Bihan, and
Sub Zero, yeah.
yeah, and then him dying. I think that's probably honestly probably
That
the best like story sequence, maybe not necessarily action sequence of the movie, but like the best story part, which honestly I feel like the whole Shirai Ryu versus Lin Kuei is probably some of the coolest stuff in um Mortal Kombat lore, I guess. But then again, I'm not really too deep into the lore, and I
yeah
probably know more about those two just because Scorpion and Sub-Zero are probably my two favorite characters. Um,
yeah.
but but yeah, like because when it was happening, I forgot who like the main bad dude is from NetherRealm that like kind of helped revive Scorpion in the games. He's like the kind of like pale dude that uses magic.
Oh
Um,
God, he does the mind control in the video game.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I can't think of his name. But yeah, I really want to play MK9 story now because of it.
Quan Chi.
Quan Chi, that's right.
Yeah.
But like I think I remember like he's like what brings Scorpion back to life, kind of. In the games, I might be wrong. But I remember in MK9 when I defeated, I forgot if it was with Sub Zero or Scorpion, but defeated like the arcade or whatever, and then you get like the little story at the end.
Yep.
Um, in one of those, it's found out that like it wasn't actually Sub Zero that killed Scorpion's family. It was like Quan Chi displayed as Sub Zero to like get them to fight and stuff like that, so he could like control Scorpion. I was like, if they do that story, that'd be sick. Like just like that whole
Uh-huh.
all that's like there's some lore of
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat that's actually pretty legit, and then like after a thing I was like, oh, I want to play MK9. It was like, oh shit, I want to go back and play Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Which
Oh my God.
like it wasn't the best one at all, but I remember playing the story a lot, and the number of characters in that was insane and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it just gave me a little bit of nostalgia to go back and play some Mortal Kombat.
So, uh, going forward into the next Mortal Kombat movie, who are the addition good guys?
Edition good
So
guys.
obviously
Obviously Johnny
Johnny
Cage.
Cage.
Yep.
Yep. Who
Um,
else?
who else? They already got Jax. They got Sonya. Kung Lao's dead. Um, hmm. I'm trying to think of the characters honestly.
I think Nightwolf. I believe
Nightwolf. Oh, they did show Nightwolf. I remember seeing that. Yeah. Like
Uh-huh.
it was like the
Yep.
picture on the wall.
Yep. Yep.
Probably Nightwolf. Yeah, I'm trying to think of Mortal Kombat roster. I need to look that up because I
I'm
haven't played a
pulling it
Mortal
up right
Kombat
now.
game in a
Let's
hot
see
minute.
here. Um. So okay, who do you think will be introduced, good and bad? So good, we have Johnny Cage. I think Nightwolf maybe. Um. Let's see. Uh.
Um,
Um.
I only see like a lot of like bad people like Baraka. Seeing him in live action would be pretty
I
cool.
hope he's in the next one, Baraka.
Uh
I
huh.
think Shao Kahn is going to be in it too because Shang
He
Tsung,
has to be. Yeah.
all of his like minions are dead,
Hmm.
so Shao Kahn comes in.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe like Smoke. Maybe Smoke
Smoke.
could
Well,
come in.
if I remember correctly, Smoke is Sub Zero's death. Like, so
Oh, you might
so
be
the
right.
Sub Zero that died became Smoke, and a new Sub Zero came in place. If I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at the MK11 roster because I don't even know most of these people honestly. Let's see here. Um, Noob Saibot, maybe. I doubt it. I would assume they'd bring in Katana, Jade, or Sindel as well,
Yeah, they have to
but from
bring in
bad
another
side.
woman character because the
They killed
two
Melina.
they killed Melina and Katara,
Oh
right?
yeah, like the like flying bat woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got the Kung Lao fatality. Oh, when
Ah!
I saw that hat stick in the sand. I'm like, oh my god, they're actually doing it. She's gonna ride him like a surfboard.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was so good. And the thing to me that like I was like concerned that they wouldn't do that with would was when he was throwing the hat at coal or whatever, and it wasn't like
Hmm.
slicing through him at all. I was like, oh, okay, it's just bouncing off him and stuff. I guess maybe they won't do that. And then it turned into just a spinning wheel in the sand. I was like, oh yeah, they're doing it, baby. But yeah, let's see here. Maybe they could do like Sector. I don't know. Ermac. They could bring in Ermac for
Hmm.
the bad boys. Um.
Um, what's that blind ninja? What's his name? Kenshi?
Oh,
What's his name?
Kenshi. Yep.
Um,
Kenshi. Maybe Rain. I guess. Yeah.
yeah. Did
Um.
they bring in the Shigoro, whatever her
Oh.
name was?
Oh. Shiva.
Shiva. Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Striker could bring in Striker. He's just like a police officer, basically.
Yeah. 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 I
Let's see,
think. I
Cyrax
think.
maybe.
Yeah. I think the Cyrax Sector ones. Those are potential.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Yeah, let's see here.
uh, you know who they should bring in?
Who?
Mocap.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. That would be so good.
He's literally a mocap.
Yeah.
They'll probably they might bring in Sindel as well.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Oh, Kintaro, like the Tiger Goro, since Goro's
Yep.
dead.
Yep.
Oh, that's who that was. I was trying to think of who like the big wing demon looking dude that I would play in Armageddon, where I just like kick and then just keep on knocking people down. Onaga.
Oh, Naga. Yeah. One of I'll finish off with this before we get too deep and just starting listing
Yeah,
every
true.
Mortal Kombat
True.
character.
Smart.
I thought it was hilarious that they did a shout out to Liu Kane's leg sweep, which was unstoppable in the original games, because you could just keep doing it to the guy as he stood up, and they did it to Kano 3 times in a row.
And then he
That
jumped.
was so funny.
And then he jumped and landed, and then he just kicked him again.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was great. He was like, "You fucking shot a fireball out of you. When am I gonna get that?" Then he was talking about like shooting blades out of his ass or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, Kano is so good. But yeah, there's definitely a ceiling to how good a Mortal Kombat movie can be from uh current movie experience of Mortal Kombat. But yeah, I mean, it was basically what I wanted. It was just like mind-numbing action and a
Yep.
story that worked well enough to go with it.
Mhm.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, it definitely seemed like they were setting up like they were definitely doing a Mortal Kombat 2, which I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was actually going to be a thing or not. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. I guess they were like setting it up from the get go, even if they like didn't think they're going to get it to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't have a Mortal Kombat in the movie Mortal Kombat. If a Mortal Kombat movie doesn't have a Mortal Kombat tournament, obviously there's going to be more.
That's very fair. That's very true. There's no tournament in it, and yeah, I didn't even think about that until you brought it up when we were just talking about it. Um, but yeah, it was. I think it was definitely better than the two previous ones. Not only because the story was definitely overall as a story just definitely better than Annihilation, even though I haven't seen Annihilation in forever. I just remember it being a million times better than it.
Oh, Annihilation was so bad.
But
So
also
bad.
just because the advancement of time, just the CGI and everything that we could put in a movie now is just so much better than it could be back then, that I felt like no matter what is going to be better than the old two Mortal Kombats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to say about that. Mortal Kombat basically did what I expected it to do, and
Mhm.
if honestly, if it didn't have Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, then the movie would be trash. But it had Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, so it wasn't trash. Oh my god.
I guess one last thing. I think it'd be pretty cool if they brought that the guy who played Liu Kang in the first two,
Mm-hmm.
because he was like literally one of the only other people in the first one that was in the second one. because everyone else left. Like there was new Sonya, new Johnny Cage, and he dies right away. So like there's new actors everywhere. He was like the only one who stuck it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see them maybe give him what's that old ninja's name? Uh, Shujinko, I
Oh,
believe.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he can play him.
Yeah.
Just give Robin Shu the recognition he deserves.
Uh huh. And I'm like kind of going into it. I wasn't really honestly expecting a lot of great acting because I was like, get people who can fight, not act, and then they can just say the lines fine enough to get me through it. And I think they did that perfectly well.
Yep, I agree.
Because yeah, the script wasn't exactly too expansive in
No,
line dialogue.
yeah, he ain't knocking over any new doors or anything with the story, but I got the blood and gore that I wanted from a Mortal Kombat movie. So
Mm-hmm. No, for sure, for sure. Introduced a new character, fine. Character's abilities was weird, sure. Just introduce someone else new into the next one, maybe. But I mean, it'll definitely help that if they do a second one, that it won't take like the first half an hour, I'd say, not necessarily 40 minutes of like just developing Cole as a character.
yeah,
Because they introduced a new character, they kind of had to do some sort of story with them, so it took a hot minute to like actually kind of get to the remaining people.
yeah,
Like
and
once we got to Sonya and Sonya had Kane, I was like, all right, now we're at like a point where I wanted it to be at like 20 minutes ago.
yeah, and at this point in time in Mortal Kombat's life, you don't have to introduce the concept of a Mortal Kombat tournament to anyone anymore. Even people who don't play video games kind of understand what the Mortal Kombat tournament is to begin with. So
Mm-hmm.
like it kind of, yeah, again, kind of drug in the very beginning, introducing Cole and introducing the concept of a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like, they can't even spell combat right.
Once he said that, I was like, oh my god, that might honestly be one of the worst lines in the movie. I hate that line.
They can't even spell combat right. Wow, Cole.
Very perceptive. like
Making fun of someone's learning disability or something.
like he could have been like, why'd they spell combat this way? Instead of like, oh, they did spell combat right, hurt.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, it was what I wanted. So I got what I wanted.
Yep.
I
Little
think.
bonus Mortal Kombat review.
Oh yeah, for sure.